What is this?
This is
Changsha
Nanjiang, which is Changsha's new train station. Changsha being a city in Hunan province, southern China.
Yeah.
One of the most depressing cities I've ever been. It's literally a concrete nightmare. Because we lived in Guangdong where it's nice and green.
Yeah.
You go up to Hunan, and when you're in Changsha, you're in a prison of concrete.
It's not nice. Yeah,
it's
I've been
sad.
there.
It's
Yeah.
like Mao's home, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, they built this new train station, right?
Yeah. So
This is what it looks like.
yeah, this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like when it rains. So the roof couldn't hold the rain, fell down inside on everyone.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. This is something you have to understand about these flashy new projects you see going up around China.
Yeah.
And you will see it a lot.
And it's probably
Chinese-
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, Chinese propaganda, they're constantly showing you these flashy new subway station or a flashy new train station or whatever. Yes, they built quickly. Yes, they look nice and flashy in photos and stuff, but when it comes down to build quality and the practicality, they're pretty bad.
I find
Yeah.
that China runs so much propaganda that somehow, even if you're like turned off to it and you're like, I don't want, it creeps its way into stuff.
Yeah.
And I will talk to people that are very critical of the Chinese government.
Yeah.
But still can't help but say, but they're just so good at building things so quickly. And it's, you know, they have this process where they have this one party state. Yeah, it's bad for human rights, but they get a lot of stuff done. And that's just not true. They get a lot of stuff done.
Badly.
Very badly.
Yeah, poorly.
You gotta always keep perspective.
Yeah. So there's a trend, which I'm sure everybody's seen by now.
Dozens of these.
On Twitter, on YouTube, on any social media where they do this like China versus America, and they cherry pick like the worst picture of the New York subway with like drug addicts and homeless people and graffiti. Yeah. And they'll show a beautiful, just completed train station or subway in China and say, look, this is China, this is America.
If you see videos like this, or thumbnails, or posts, it is Chinese propaganda.
This
from
is
the
Chinese.
States.
Yeah, this is a well-known.
It'll take you a second to dig and find that out.
Yeah, and you know what? People start to fall for it, and I was like,
Yeah.
and even me, I'm like, well, America obviously just has crap old subway stations in New York or whatever, and
libraries, right?
Yeah, and libraries. But you know why? It's because you don't have people in America going around and filming the subway stations as propaganda, saying like, wow, let's show this to the world.
Right.
The world has to see this subway station.
When you have a multi-billion-dollar government project called 讲好中国故事, tell China's story well, that literally pays foreigners to go around and to make hundreds, if not thousands, of videos over and over and over again to get millions and millions and millions of views about how amazing China's infrastructure is.
Yes.
That permeates your psyche.
Yeah.
It does.
So,
Because no one else is doing the equivalent.
We thought that just to give you an example, we'd do an equivalent. So let's take a look.
How lazy this is.
Yeah, it's super lazy. Yeah. So this is the China station versus the New York subway station.
Anyone can do this.
Yeah.
Format.
Look how beautiful that New York subway station is. Yeah. It's the architecture. It looks amazing. It's beautiful. It's clean. Yep. It's lovely. And look how bad China's one is all raining in on itself.
Gee willikers.
So, I mean, you know, this is just disingenuous. Like, obviously what we're doing here is to make an example.
Yes. This is disingenuous too.
It's super easy to cherry pick. And pretend that this one new station, this New York station that's all new, is representative of the whole of America. And think about this. You know, whenever you see these versus pictures, you don't get to see all of the subway stations. No. You don't get to go to the dingy, crap, unfinished, broken ones.
Lots.
Yeah. You only ever see a picture of the main, best, most beautiful one, right? Somehow that's supposed to represent all of China's subway stations or all of that city's subway stations?
If you were to make a conglomerate image of all of China, the vast majority of it would look incredibly impoverished.
Absolutely.
Way worse than anything you'd ever find in America.
So just think about this. When you see these comparisons, these propaganda comparisons, imagine every single picture you ever saw of the New York subway was just of this new, fancy, nice station. Yeah. And then somebody went on into like the Beijing subway, which is hideous, by the way. Yeah. And they went to some of those crappy, horrible, rundown parts of the Beijing subway, and they said, this is China versus America. Right. That's what they're doing. It's so disingenuous.
Or it's like saying, this is China. They go to rural Guizhou in a village and they show a pothole full of mud.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
That's what the equivalent of what
Yeah,
they're
it's
doing is.
this cherry picking versus thing
Yeah.
needs to just F off.
So
it's
lazy.
nonsense.
You know what? It's
lazy.
America Bad Party.
It is America Bad Party. It is. Oh, I actually have it right here.
America Bad Party, America Bad.
Do you guys like the new tune?
Yeah, because we also have the original, which is just.
We love the new tune. We think it's a great catchy addition to this. Remember, America Bad Party is when somebody, it could be Americans, it could be
Yes.
anyone, that has to make America the bad guy in every scenario, even if it's right or wrong. It doesn't matter if
And
it's right
even
or
if
wrong.
it has nothing to do
Yes.
with America.
Well, America, it's whataboutism.
It annoys me, being a South African, when I make a point on Twitter or something and I'm like, look at this problem with domestic violence in China. They'll be like, oh yeah, what about America? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell does that even have to do with me?
Or you can meet a guy with an American flag T-shirt and a freaking AR-15.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, buddy, like, let's, did
Yeah,
you hear
China-
about what
yeah.
happened in China or whatever? And he's like,
like,
oh, they got it better than we do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
That's ABP too. That's America Bad
yeah.
Party.
Or you can meet a pink-haired,
Yeah.
person with a lot of metal in their face,
Yeah.
with tattoos everywhere that would say, "Oh yeah, well, America's worse.
We're killing
Systemic
everyone.
oppression."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh well, look at these poor Uyghurs that
Yes.
are being,
they're like, "Oh,
incarcerated."
yeah?
Oh yeah, well, systemic
How about
oppression.
everyone here?
Yeah. So
Anyway.
that's America Bad. Just so we could define it.
I wanted to shout out our friend World Citizen,
Yes.
provider of anti-CCP content, for making that little jingle.
That's great.
We love
I like that little jingle.
Did that woman just scream a rat to death?
I think she gave it a heart attack. Wow,
It is stirring a pot.
that is so stupid.
Mouse Jiggler has arrived.
The mouse jiggler.
So they've got this like Russian Drew Barrymore over here. Okay. Simulate real random mouse movement, 100% undetectable, just like you're using a mouse. You know what? I gotta say, like this looks kind of inconvenient.
Yes.
Constant screen up can be very annoying.
Oh, darn!
Yeah, it's like this.
Do you hate
this stupid thing?
Close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my life.